Hey guys, I'm back. I'm back with a new video, back to talk about foreclosures, the auction, all things foreclosure auction related. So today's video is about what's going on. It's the end of the year, fourth quarter. What are the foreclosure numbers looking like? Are the banks actually foreclosing? I'll give you my opinion on that. Stay tuned if you are interested to see my opinion on what I really think going on in this foreclosure distressed housing market. Keep watching. Right now, we currently have about 285,000 properties that are currently in somewhere in the foreclosure process. So that means that there's like new filings. They might be scheduled for an auction. Their first notice might have gone out. They might be in a postponement. Somewhere in the auction process. It's about 285,000 properties nationwide. Banks started about 21,000 new foreclosure filings. So when that first notice comes out, that notice usually, depending on where you are, that notice is from the bank, and it's basically saying, hey, you've got 30 days to either pay this amount of money or we're auctioning off your house on this date. So here are the cities that had the most new foreclosure starts. We have New York, Chicago, LA, Los Angeles, California, Philadelphia, and Miami, with the most new foreclosure filings for the month of October. So also, lenders completed about 4,000 foreclosures. So if I don't sell the property at auction, that's when it actually becomes an REO, real estate owned by the bank, if I don't sell it at the auction. You guys, honestly, and I've said this before, I've said this on Instagram, what I'm seeing at the auction, it's really slow at the auction right now. Really slow. To me, it does not seem like the banks are foreclosing. Like, they're only foreclosing on those properties that are vacant. You know, they're also referred to as zombie properties. That means nobody lives there. So that's what I'm seeing at the auction. The properties have to be vacant, or you know, the homeowner is just refusing to talk to the bank. No communication, not letting them know what's going on, not opening their mail, you know, not answering the phone, just non-responsive. I'll give you an example. I had a lady call me, and she's called me before when her house was up for auction. She reached out to me. She said she was going to file bankruptcy. So I was like, okay, cool. If you didn't know, bankruptcy, if you are at the last, like you on your last leg, like you can't catch up, the bank is not agreeing to a modification, forbearance, nothing. Like, it is, they're saying we are auctioning off your house. If you find yourself in that position and you're not selling, you can file bankruptcy. Bankruptcy will stop an auction immediately. Okay, so she filed bankruptcy. Here we are. But keep in mind, when you file bankruptcy, that's a payment. And she told me when she was thinking about filing bankruptcy, she was like,
the bankruptcy payment is the same as my mortgage payment.
And I was like, if you can't pay your mortgage, y'all know what I'm saying. So anyway, here we are. She popped back up on my list again. House back up for foreclosure. So I reached out to her. I said, hey, everything good? I see you on the list again. She reached back out to me. She was like, I got sick. She's like, I reached out to the bank and they thought that my house was empty. And I told them that I was here and they postponed her auction. So again, that goes back to me thinking that banks are really only foreclosing on properties that are vacant. But if you're behind, communicate. They're not really, I'm not seeing banks foreclosing on people. If you talk to them and let them know that you're there, you want to pay, you know what I'm saying, y'all. So February, I'll put up the article again. The White House came out February of 2021. The White House said there are over 10 million people who were behind on their mortgage, right? Over 10 million. Over 10 million people. January, 5 million people behind on their mortgage. August, a couple months ago, 4.1 million people behind on their mortgage. October, 4.2 million people behind on their mortgage. So in the course of this year, we have not, I mean, if you were behind in January, you still behind now, is what it seems like to me. I can also vouch for that. I'll show you proof. I'll link all the articles so you can see HUD. Y'all keep up with what's going on HUDs. They put out a report every month about the state of the housing market. I will link that, bookmark it. But let's just go on and roughly say 5 million people are behind on their mortgage. HUD also said 6 million people are behind on their rent. If we're going to combine these numbers, that's 11 million people behind on their living housing expenses across the country, okay? We need to be focusing on these 11 million people, these 5 million homeowners that are behind on their mortgage, because I think that's the true representation of what's going on in our distressed housing market, right? You know, I'm talking to people who have not paid their mortgage all year. They have not paid their mortgage all year, 200 and something days behind on their mortgage. I talked to a guy. I'll put up his payment, his mortgage statement, so y'all can see. He hasn't paid all year, 270 days behind on his mortgage. He's not in a modification, he's not in a forbearance, and he's not in foreclosure. He has just not paid all year, and he's just sitting and waiting to see what the bank is going to do. And I feel like there are a lot of people that are sitting and waiting to see what the bank is going to do. If you are one of those people, you guys, I feel like the banks and these homeowners, these people that are behind, they just like, everybody just kind of sitting and waiting. And let me say this, we're talking about 4 million people behind, and y'all know how I feel about numbers, and I feel like people kind of undershare numbers. And I mean, if you're the bank, let's think about this, y'all. 5 million people behind. They're saying 5 million people behind. You can't foreclose on 5 million people. Yes, the moratorium was absolutely needed during COVID. A lot of people were struggling, lost their jobs, didn't have money to pay for their homes. So, you know, we stopped collecting payments for 2 years. We did that moratorium. Here's the aftermath of what came from halting mortgage payments for 2 years. You know what I mean? That set up a lot of people for disaster. The banks can't foreclose on 5 million people. Like, and I think that's what they're trying to figure out. Like, it's not like people who are behind have been behind. Like, they're not just, we missed a month, we just missed last month. No, these people ain't paid all year. Sometimes I talk to people and they can be like in denial sometimes, or they're like, I can catch up, I can catch up. I'm like, you can't catch up. You can't catch up $20,000. What do the banks do? And I'm sure the banks over there like, what do we do? I mean, it is the United States, right? We're going to bail somebody out. We're going to bail the banks out if we need to. But I mean, y'all, and we're like 5 million people behind. Renters behind, 6 million people behind on their rent. They're talking about next year over 2 million people are going to get laid off from their job. Like, go to HUD's website. Follow them, like bookmark them so you can see. Y'all reach out to me all the time about being like a mentor or doing consultations or stuff like that. You guys, it's so hard for me to do that, especially when I live here in Memphis. You know what I mean? Because I don't know your market. You know what I mean? And you can send me a house and be like, Ashley, what do you think? Should I buy this? And to me, I'm like, okay, the numbers look right. You can buy it. But I don't know. You know, the house could be sitting between like the trap house and the crack house. And I don't know. You know, I don't see all that. And then you get a bad deal. And then you're going to be mad at me. And I'll be like, I live in Memphis. You know, you guys, I'm on Instagram. Your Agent Ashley. You know where I am. Follow me on Instagram. If you have a question, let me know. I will try to answer your questions. I know y'all still want to know about lien, title searches, liens, when you're buying a property. I know. Yeah, I know. That's all I have for today. As always, thank you so much for watching. I am going to try to come back because I know y'all want to hear everything I have to say. And I know ain't nobody really teaching me. I mean, ain't nobody teaching y'all that look like me. You know what I mean? So, I will be back. You know I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Gmail, Your Agent Ashley. So if you have any questions, reach out to me. You know, and I hope everybody stays safe. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you soon.